Right, and a bit of in-house play right now.
In-house banter.
We're bringing it in-house right now. So our meteorologist, or as many refer to him as our weatherman, Sihle, also known as SIPHESIHLE Kunene, who went to a smart weather symposium. I'm sure many of you can remember doing those crossings to him here on the show. Now, this is about the South African Weather Service adopting a new weather solution for everyone, every day.
That's interesting. It really is. So in addition to the tangible weather service, they'll be working with some of the emergency services, something I've actually been talking about for a very, very long time. And we'll bring up this conversation with Sihle in a while. The impact-based forecasting will be training the media in Pretoria tomorrow, and the system will be launched on the 15th of May. So let's engage with Sihle. He knows all about this. He knows a lot more about it than you and I do. Sakina, we break
no two ways about that.
That's a fact. Sihle, it's something that I've been talking about for a long time is a weather warning service, and what I'm reading into this is that they're adopting new weather solutions for everyone every day.
Yes.
What does that mean? What are they adopting?
Yes. I love the fact that you've been talking about it, and it actually coincides with what we do. So let me explain our role as SABC and this whole triangle thing. So you get the weather service. The weather service produces the weather data. They produce it in the raw form, just data. This is what you can expect. And then they give it to us, which is the media. We publicize, we broadcast it. But then you get the buy-in by the emergency services, so the National Disaster Emergency Services. So what they do now is that they are now involved in this whole thing in a sense that they're the ones that take action. So when the weather guys from Pretoria, they say that, okay, we're expecting a severe thunderstorm. It's going to be in parts of Gauteng, and it's going to last until 5 o'clock this evening. So now what they do is that the emergency services, they start by being aware of this, and then they start getting ready for that severe weather warning that they have issued. And then, of course, we tell the public, we tell people that, okay, this is what you can expect, this is what's happening, and that's what the symposium, that's one of the things that I got from the symposium. It's just one of them. They have many other solutions that that we spoke about at the symposium.
So let's start here. What is a tangible weather solution?
Something that we can use, something that the public, because we speak in weather term, we speak about severe weather and everything, but something that they can use, something that when we speak about, then the public can actually take it and say, okay, the weatherman has said, now it's at this level, so therefore it's time to act. Let me give you an example. Here, this is what they came up with. A table, it looks like it's very bland, but it's got your green part, your yellow part, and your orange. So now this will be the new weather warnings. Your green warning, your yellow warning, and your orange warning. And of course the red warning. Red warning, that's the most highest one, which means if you look at it, it has a very high likelihood and has a very severe impact. So it's not only now just looking at what is going to happen. They take a look at what's going to happen and what impact it's going to have. So what's going to happen? You're going to have heavy rains. For instance, if you're going to have, take a look at heavy rains, if you're going to have heavy rains, especially in Uppington or in one of the very unpopulated areas. Heavy rains, they won't lead to a lot of damage to property or damage to life. But heavy rains here in Gauteng, even if the storm is very small, heavy rains here will cause a much big effect, a much bigger damage to property. So that's why they'll say, okay, the likelihood is medium, but the impact is very significant. So they'll put the warning here at an orange level. Then when they put it at an orange level, then the disaster managers and the emergency services, they already know exactly what to do when the warning is there at an orange level. But if it's at, for instance, a yellow warning means that, okay, we're going to have heat, but heat is not going to result in damage to property or damage to people. So now this is the new system that they're still forecasting everything. They're still talking about thresholds. These are the temperatures. This is the amount of rain that you're going to get. But what's the impact that's going to result from it? This is like taking forecasting a step further.
And then in the aftermath of Cyclone Idai, do you think that this sort of system would have helped mitigate the disaster that played out in the countries that were affected?
This is exactly one of the things that was needed before or during one of those cyclones. Because, for instance, when a tropical cyclone starts, it starts as a tropical storm. By then, it could die. It could still grow into a tropical cyclone. It's still very small. So as it grows and develops over the ocean, then they start by saying, okay, there's a very high likelihood that we can see the storm, and for the next 7 days we can see it growing. So definitely the likelihood is medium or high. It's definitely happening. So they keep it there. But what's the impact going to be? If the storm is over the ocean, then it's going to have very little impact. So they keep it here, very minor impact. Even though it's a yellow warning, that means that they won't issue out any warning. But once that same tropical storm starts moving inland and then affecting people or growing larger, then they say, okay, the impact is going to be significant because now it has moved over a populated area. But if it's still over a very sparsely populated area, they'll still keep it at significant impact with a medium likelihood. Maybe it's going towards an orange warning. But once it moves over a city and now it's big enough, since we know that the system, a tropical cyclone doesn't just die like that over a day. It will take days for it to die, and we know this, that it needs certain things for it to die. So that's why they would put it here. Then they'll say the impact is severe because it's moving over a populated area and it's a very big system that we've been tracking for 5 days. We know exactly that it's not going to die tomorrow, it's going to die in the next 2 days. And then they'll come with the warnings. Then they'll specify the warnings, what you can expect. You can expect heavy rains, hail, strong damaging winds. So now it's more of it's taking that same message, explaining it in different ways, but now getting the message across more effectively and talking to the right people, just like you said, Leah, and they talk to the disaster managers themselves. They say, listen, this is the tropical cyclone. It has very severe impact, and because it's moving over a city, the likelihood of it having even more impact is very great. So start preparing the emergency shelters. Start preparing your boats, because people are going to be flooded. They know exactly what to do if they know what they can expect.
You know, one of the things, and why I say I was talking about it a lot, I was actually visiting a friend in the US, in New York to be specific. Now, they have a system, which I think I've spoken about before. It's on your cell phone. Now, it's something that almost every single person has, but it is a free emergency alert system. And what happens is that it comes standard with a phone. So you actually switch it on your phone, if it isn't already on, because most of the time it is on. And in that way, government departments are able to get hold of all citizens at any time, and that's how they send alerts. So they'll send you a warning alert, whether there's going to be a hurricane, a flood. It even goes as far as alerting people if there is a child that's gone missing. You can also apparently get a presidential message if there is a terrorist alert or anything. And it is a free service that the government actually gives you. I'm wondering if it's going to be similar to something like that. I mean, are we able to actually get this without downloading an app? It is something that we just switch on, and it is a government service on your phone that sends you warnings.
For now, it's not available on the cell phone, of course.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's something looking forward.
I think it would definitely move there, because they're already sending SMSs, and SMSs are going to direct the exact people that need to know. But it's going, for now, because it's SMSs for people to act, it's going to disaster managers. So the service is there. We are moving towards it. Maybe we'll get towards terrorist attacks one day. But the weather part is definitely there with severe weather warning system. For instance, with airports, they have borders around airports whereby they say if a lightning strikes within 10 kilometers of this airport, because it's an airport, it's very important for them to know that SMSs will automatically get out towards the airport's controllers and everything. Then they know that, okay, there's a storm approaching, it is this far away and moving closer towards the airports. And also for other things like schools, recreational activities, those things are there, but for now we still have to pay, unfortunately, for those.
Let me just correct you, please. Let's never get to the terrorist side.
Yeah, no.
Let's never get warnings for terrorist attack. But it would be nice, for instance, for today, for perhaps the school strike.
Yeah.
It would be nice to know, is it happening, what is affected? The Alexandra in the city, in Sandton area. You know, those are the kind of things, besides the weather, that you can actually talk to. And the flooding that happens in areas. Be careful, do not go in this area. It's a great system, yeah?
It's a great system. And now that they're tackling the warnings as they are, they're talking flooding, warnings, or strong winds. They go directly into what's even translating. It's easy to say ikukula or something like that. Yeah.
Sihle, thank you. Thanks so very, very much for chatting to us about that.
Absolutely. Our very own, and from the weather service across the studio here from us, SIPHESIHLE Kunene, for chatting to us about this new weather service that they are working on.
All right, let's take a quick break. We've got Chop Chop after this. Stay tuned.